Bible told me that I had to be good. But now I love because I want to. I love because I'm free. Guided by the Spirit, oh Lord. Spirit of God is upon me. Come on. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. 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 I don't need any prodding. I don't need any law. I want to sing with all my heart. God is my all in all. I let go of my burdens. Loving God has set me free. Blinded by the Spirit, oh Lord. The Spirit of God is upon me. Come on. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Come on, Bob, and our Seaside Band. Woo! That's Bob on the saxophone. Come on, Max on the keyboard, on the piano. Show some love to Max, everybody. Help me sing. Say, whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. 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 Whoa. Got another verse for you. I thought it was my duty. I thought it was my job. Somewhere I believed that loving God would be hard. But loving God is wonderful. Loving God is ecstasy. Oh, thank God for my freedom. The Spirit of God is upon me. Come on. Whoa. Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Spirit of God is upon me. Come on. Whoa. Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Spirit of God is upon me. Oh. Yes, he died.
All right. Woo. All right, Rebecca, man, you know how to bring it to the house. I love it. The Spirit of God is upon Seaside for sure. Love it. Hey, today, a big day at Seaside. It's our annual meeting at 1 o'clock. Love for you to come back, hear what's going on, and see what's happening here. But one of the things that happens is 2 board members step off, a couple more step on. I'd like to acknowledge the 2 that are stepping off right now. And so just a little gift. I want to call up your board president and your board vice president. Rick Merrick, come on up. He's been the board president for the last 2 years. Lori Gertz, been vice president during that time. These 2 individuals have served for 3 years. And how you kept order without this, I don't know. But there is a gavel.
Now I get it.
There you get it. Lori Gertz, thank you for all your love and your dedication. Appreciate you. Rick, thank you. Woo. Thank you. Annual meeting any moment. Also, before you guys go, we never do this, but also we have a volunteer of the year. We never put it on board members, but these 2 have served so tirelessly for the last 3 years. I want you to know you're joining the plaque that sits on our wall forever. The volunteers of the years and years and years, President and Vice President Rick and Lori, thank you too. And also, just an aside, Lori, along with her family, the Gertz family, have gifted to Seaside a peace pole, which you may have seen sitting out there when you came in. We're dedicating that at 12:30 today. So come on back at 12:30 for that. And gosh, there's so much going on at Seaside, so I don't want to lose sight that what we're heading toward right now is to move deeper with prayer. We have a wonderful practitioner who has just been named Crawford High, which is like the southeast low end of school systems, Teacher of the Year, because of her work with all those children, the refugee children, and going to that school that is all their second language, and you have continued to stand there as a pillar and a light and huge spiritual consciousness, irrespective of background. You have brought the love, and she has now been honored this last week as Teacher of the Year. So, Deb Sadler.
Join me in this stillness. It is a glorious day. The clarity, the beauty, is spirit moving in, through, around, and is all that there is. Because it is all spirit. It is all God. There is only one power. There's only one presence. And there's only one mind. And this one mind is all thoughts and ideas, and all wisdom and knowledge, and it is infinite. And there is only one life. And that life is God's life. And that life is my life now. And that life is perfect. And as this is true for me, this is true for each individual here. That each individual is that beautiful expression of spirit. Joy, love, ease, and grace move through each individual here, knowing that each is that divine expression of God. And I know that today's service is full of meaning and words that Dr. Reverend speaks that touch each individual in the depths of their heart, raising the vibration, raising the vibratory rate of each individual here, resonating peace and joy and ease and love as we learn how to use it. It is a beautiful, glorious day full of clarity and beauty.
All is well.
Good morning. I'm practitioner Rebecca Venkatraman and ministerial student, and I'd like to welcome our visitors this morning. If you're here for the first time, we have a welcome package for you back by the door, and it has lots of gifts and discounts for our bookstore, so please pick one up. We hope you enjoy your morning, and we hope to see you again. This morning I'm going to read from the Science of Mind, page 52, on how to use it. It has been proved that by thinking correctly and by a conscious mental use of the law of mind, we can cause it to do definite things for us. By conscious thinking, we give conscious direction to it, and it responds. It must and will respond to everyone, because it is the law, and the law is no respecter of persons. We are surrounded by an intelligent force and substance from which all things come, the ultimate essence. It is around us in its original state, ready and willing to take form through the impulse of our creative belief. It works for us by flowing through us. The law we did not create. This law we cannot change. We can use it correctly only as we understand it and use it according to its nature. And now will you join me with prayer? I know there's one source of good in the universe, and that source is God. God is the all in all. God is all there is. God and I are one. There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life now. And what I know for me, I know for each person here. As we gather together in this sacred space this morning, with clear minds and open hearts, ready to receive the gifts of Spirit, ready to allow this work to flow through us into all areas of our lives, to be healed, to be enriched, to be happy and filled with grace. I give great thanks for this knowing, and I release this word into the law of mind, knowing it's already done. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, Seaside. Happy Sunday. Hope everyone is having a wonderful time. We're so glad you're here. It is my honor, as it is every Sunday, to introduce our wonderful guest artist. And I just love that Seaside is all about the music. Don't you love that? That's such an important part here. So thank you so much for making it be such an important aspect of what we do here. So, and today we have a beautiful artist here with us. This is only her second time here, so we're really grateful that she's back. And she's just got a beautiful spirit. Her songs are beautiful with wonderful messages. And so we're so glad she's back. And we're grateful she's here right now because she's actually going to be going out on tour this year. So we're happy to catch her here before she leaves for a little while. But we'll definitely have her back when she's back in town. And if you're moved by her music, please see her. She does have CDs after the service, and you can check out where she's performing on her website, which is KennyDye.com. So without further ado, please help me welcome Kenny Dye.
Thank you. Thanks, Rebecca. You guys are so spoiled here to get to listen to Rebecca sing every week. I can listen to that girl sing all day. My name is Kenny. This first song that I'm going to do, it's called It's Gonna Be Okay. It's a newer song of mine. And I was in a pretty dark place where I didn't know. I received a pretty traumatic phone call, and it changed my life forever. And I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know where to go. And something inside of me very early one morning said, pick up your guitar, and I fought, and I didn't want to, and I did. And this song came out of me in 45 minutes, and I, through a lot of tears and not even knowing what was happening, this is what came out. And in my darkest moment, this light of hope came through, and I am still here today and fortunate enough to share this song with you.
Daily feeling less than half alive and barely breathing, trying to survive. But with a little bit of luck, I can make it through the night. To see the sunrise another day, while keeping up my fight. Moving slowly, feeling all the pain, and taking with me all there is to gain. I can walk away now, knowing I am stronger. The battle may be done, but the war I face will go on even longer. And love is the only way to get us through what we think may be our last day. Though it's hard yet to say, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Hearts dead, broken, bleeding, left for dead, and minds, they go crazy, replaying what was said. And I'm sick of hearing time will always make things better. Isn't there another way to hurry up the pain and pull myself together? But love is the only way to get us through what we think may be our last day. Though it's hard yet to say, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down without a sound. And dust to dust, we will rise again, stronger than the wind. And love is the only way to get us through what we think may be our last day. Though it's hard yet to say, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
That is Kitty Die. Woo. Hey, we're all about the music. What about a little bit of talk here? Come on. We got a little talk going on in here.
All about the music.
Did she say it was all about the music?
It's a lot about the music.
There you go, there you go. It can
The
be
talk
all.
is important.
I love it. It can be all about the music. That's good. Anyway, we love the music you bring us, and Kenny, you are just fabulous. Thank you so much. perfect song. It's all going to be okay. We're going to rise. We're going to rise. We're going to rise. I got to tell you, I haven't seen a uniting of ministers across denominations like I have this week with their religious freedoms being challenged. Oh, my goodness. The ministers across denominations are taking a stand. And what I'm just reminded is sometimes, we're going to have to stand with our brothers and sisters if we want to have our spiritual faiths maintained. And so we got to stand with others sometimes, even if it's not our own belief. It's just to be mocked or ridiculed or detained or silenced or mistreated because you are speaking your moral conscience is just not right. It is, if we want a just and free society, we have to be willing to sustain, nurture, and protect our religious freedom. And this country has been built on that. I mean, from the very beginning, when the Pilgrims arrived here in Plymouth, it was all about the freedom of being able to have the spiritual belief and faith of one's choosing. They connected with the Native Americans and their philosophies and shared meals. I read the Mormons' position that came out this week. They said, we traveled across the country so we could have a space so we could practice what we believe is our moral conscience, what is true in our heart and our soul. And what I know right now is religious science, which is our philosophy, is about action. Ernest Holmes says you treat, which is our prayer, you treat and you move your feet. And it's all about freedom. The very first page of the Science of Mind, which is our textbook, talks about the word freedom, as I've shared with you, 4, 5, and 6 times. On the first page, it is imperative. It is to our philosophy. It is about being free in our life. And Ernest says, and we're going over the initial chapters of the Science of Mind. Today we're wrapping up the 4th chapter of the intro to the Science of Mind called How to Use It. The first line, the first paragraph of that chapter, he says, the great difficulty of the new order of thought is that we indulge in too much theory and too little practice. That we must prove this philosophy. Otherwise, it may or it may not be true. But if you prove that it is true, then it must be true. Anyone can run around and say, hey, there are no sick. But it doesn't heal what appears to be the challenge. Anybody can say there are no needy, whether they be wise or otherwise. In other words, guys, it's not about just talking freedom's important to us, even though it's in the first page, even though it's an inalienable right. But am I willing to take my spiritual practice to the streets? Am I willing to do what I am called to do in my life and say, you know what? This spiritual philosophy is about action. We treat and we move our feet. We just don't sit around and talk about it and go, whoa, isn't that not right? We have been given the spiritual tools. Now, what are we going to do with them in our life and in our world? It comes down to our action with what's going on. And so we can rise again. We can take a stand. We can maintain. We can protect and we can nurture that which is near and dear to our heart. And it may take, some strength to do that. So often we think, isn't peace just a sweet kind of thing? Peace is sweet. But take a look at Martin Luther King and Gandhi. They were ferocious in their practice of it. And we're going into the season for nonviolence pretty quick here. And, it's about taking a stance for peace in our life and upon our planet. And people say, with grace, isn't it just like a gentle thing? How come my world, I pray on grace and nothing seems to happen? Well, you got to do something. It'd be nice to be able to just pray, and lie in bed and have the checks float in the window. It could be possible if you got enough faith. I haven't seen it happen yet, but, I am not opposed to it happening. But what I know for myself is that, really, I think I'm in the grace for me is going to make sure I'm living in this world doing my dharma, doing my purpose, doing that for which I've been called to do. I think my soul and my spirit will grow as I engage in life and begin to develop who I am and begin to practice those spiritual truths in my expression in all situations, that I begin to discover more of who I am, that I've come into this world to contribute, that I've come into this world to give. I have a gift to give as well as a lesson to learn and something to understand and insights to gain. And I do that through engagement in relationship, in career, in life. And it's not just lying in bed and opening the window and hoping my good will gracefully blow in, but rather it's taken my body and my spirit into action, into the street with the spiritual principle that God is omnipresent, and right where I am most stirred is the place God is waiting to be called forth into expression. And that takes a new kind of sight. How to use is what this chapter is about. It takes a new kind of seeing. What happens so often is we're so busy looking at where we've come from. We've got that rear view mirror kind of look, and then we wonder how come it keeps repeating itself in our life? How come I keep finding myself stuck in the same situations? Well, it's because I keep looking as to what my past has been, and I keep perpetuating that, or I keep perpetuating the headlines, as opposed to calling forth a new vision, a new possibility, and speaking that, proclaiming it, not fighting, but proclaiming the spiritual kingdom and the truth in life that I'm living. It takes courage to learn from the past what's in that mirror, but not live there. And the science of mind gives us how to do that. We can find what Ernest wrote in his book, The Science of Mind, in the last of these 4 basic chapters that we've been addressing. This one is how to use it. And he wrote that a practitioner, which is all of us, we've got licensed practitioners who have spent a lot of years becoming a professional and honing their craft and being licensed. But a practitioner is anyone who practices. Uses thought definitely for a specific purpose. And the more definitely one uses the law, that's the law, it's always working. You heard Rebecca talk about that. The more directly it will respond to them. A false fact is neither a person, place, nor thing to the one who uncovers it. And once uncovered, it has no place to hide. Hey, I see you. Yep, you're alive. You can't. While it is true that wrong conditions do exist, they could not remain unless there is someone to experience them. And consequently, the experience must be conscious. Change the consciousness and the false condition will disappear. Because conditions are not entities, we're the entity. Cannot that which is conscious cast out that which has no consciousness? If we properly understood, we would be able to remove the false conditions as easily as Jesus did. He knew our faith. He knew his faith. Ours isn't quite there. We must have the strength, and then we can do it. Yeah, confirmation. So the law is what he's saying, and the law works. It is everywhere. It's omnipresent. Right? The law, it's a principle. It's not it doesn't have personality. Whoever uses it, it's going to work. A law or principle is like gravity, right? If you were to jump off a cliff, you're going down. Doesn't matter who you are, prince or pauper, you're going down. That's a principle, right? That's what we're working with. It's done unto you at the level of your consciousness, or as Jesus said, as you believe. This is how it works. So you've got to move it through you and allow it to come through, because what's out there that is appearing very real is not really a person, place, or thing. Do I want to blame this person, or I want to blame this situation? What it is it's the manifestation. It is the rising. And if I can begin to change my thoughts and realize I'm not going to participate in that, then we begin to take the power back. We hear so much about the power of positive thinking. Man, I stand up here and jump around all the time, talk about the power of positive thinking, slam on, hey, yeah. Not very often do you hear people doing the same thing about the power of negative thinking. There's just as much power in negative thinking as there is in positive thinking, because the law doesn't care if it's positive or negative. You can stick a blender in that socket and you can have a wonderful daiquiri for us all to enjoy, or you can stick your finger in there and fry. It doesn't care. The law doesn't care if you're using it for positive or negative. And if you're choosing to read the headline and say, whoa, this is horrible stuff that's going on, or if you're looking in the rearview mirror and say, I got to get away from that, and you keep bringing it with you, the law doesn't care. It will continue to replicate that in your life. And so what we want to do is catch that higher vision of a greater possibility that we are free from the constraints and the mistreatment of the constrictions that are put upon those that embrace and believe the littleness. There's infinite possibilities. And let your prayers be such that it is Spirit that is expressing through you that higher vision, that greater possibility. Now, because a lot of our prayers is something that I think I want. But a lot of times what I want may not really be for the best. I think we're pretty clear it is we know what it is we want, but it's not always going to be that which will bring us happiness. And if I can just couch my prayers, hey, God, Spirit, life, greater intelligence, that which created all things, let your will happen here, not mine. I'll speak from the highest level of my understanding, but I got to tell you, some of my prayers may be, I love what St. Teresa Lisieux, that's France, said. She said, I thank God that not all my prayers were answered. You know? I got to remember one of the first prayers I did for somebody who was a minister was to pray to get married to this person. They got married and they came back a year later asking a prayer to get out of that relationship. You know? Let not our prayer come from, a sense of fear or lack or little-mindedness or fear or anxiety or neurosis or competition or compulsion or obsessed with trying to be better than anyone and everything else. That kind of little-mindedness is going to create a challenge in our world, and you will be attracting into your life, who knows what from that kind of place. The law of attraction we know about, but there's also the law of repulsion. It will repulse anything that doesn't match the vibration that you are. And so if you're working on that harmony and the peace and the love, that's what you can pull in. But, that which doesn't match your vibration falls away. Friends, lovers, jobs, situations. You can't force the wrong puzzle piece into a hole that doesn't fit. There's another piece for that. And so as we begin to work in a conscious kind of way on how to bring forth that Spirit in our life in a way that honors that which I came here to do, and realize those areas that want to take away the freedom is probably not the place I want to hang out. Though I want to speak of the infinite possibilities that await and are possible. But I'm not going to lose myself. I like the story of Harrison Ford. You may know his story. He came to Hollywood, get a radio show or something. Didn't work out. So he ended up, instead of waiting tables, because waiting tables wasn't his thing, he became a carpenter. Started building things, and he got occasional jobs at the studio. It was on their list. He was on the low end of the extra list, no speaking parts, just kind of in there. But he started building decks and rooms for some of the people around there. And George Lucas, when he was doing American Graffiti, cast him in that, which was a nice role, but it didn't really launch his career. And so he went back to what he enjoyed doing. It wasn't waiting tables. It was carpentry. Not that one is wrong or the other. I mean, the passion is to be the actor, but if you can't be doing that right now, you at least could be doing something you can be doing that brings you joy. And when he heard about Star Wars going on, he showed up at the interview, so the story goes, with his carpenter belt and read for the part of Han Solo, and boom, that was the beginning of his career being launched in that higher kind of way. And so I share that when things aren't just necessarily perking at the level in which you want it to be, it's time for you to weed out those fears, those concerns, the anxiety that are cropping up in the consciousness. No gardener is going to intentionally go out and plant weeds in their garden. It doesn't mean I don't get weeds in my garden. But I got to pull them out. So just in my mind, when those fears start creeping in, what I got to do is start pulling those out, because a visionary thrives in all conditions. It's good. Yeah, me too. Oprah Winfrey said, the chance to love and be loved is anywhere you are. Got that? Thrive in all conditions, love anywhere you are. Walt Whitman, he said, happiness and knowledge are not in another place, but this place, nor another time, this time. So we talk about Spirit being omnipresence, with its omnipotence, with all its power, right where I am, in the biggest concern that I've got going on in my life or in my nation or on this planet. There is much Spirit, and it doesn't know large or small. Gravity doesn't care if it's a pebble or a boulder. It's going down. Spirit doesn't know large or small. And if there is a big thing that is grasped in your field of awareness, you are the one who gets to decide, okay, I need to do something here. I got to be greater than this. Joel Goldsmith, he's one of those legends in the New Thought movement. He's absolutist in his thinking. Fun to read because there is no room for really being human too much with his thinking. He comes out of Christian Science, and at the absolute level, he's right on. But he shares that when he used to be a businessman, sales, selling things, and was very successful. All of a sudden, things weren't selling quite like they were, and he wasn't as successful as he was, and all of a sudden it started going really south. He had all the practitioners, praying for him and doing his prayers, and the more they prayed, the worse it got. And he said, pray, I need better business. And what he thought that meant was more sales and more orders coming in. Once again, right? You're praying for what you think is right, but you know what? It's not always what will make you happy. Finally, he was no longer selling anything, and in 1 week, 3 different people said, Joel, what are you still even doing in this business? You should be working as a healing practitioner. And it's like, he got it. So he got an office and he opened up, and all the prayers that the practitioner buddies had been praying for him started downloading. And his door, there was lines out his door with people who were waiting to see him, and his business flourished. I share that about stepping into that flow, that spirit. It's like you got to step in the flow because you got the Spirit in you. See, how it works is you got to take action. You got to give Spirit a moving target. It's in you. And like what I mean by in you, it's not like in that compartment where last week we talked about that you're like not really hanging out in because there is no compartment in there. It's in you like a structural engineer was contracted to build a bridge. Where do they go? They go within to catch what is to look like, what's to feel like. They sit on the space, they begin to see, and they vision, but it emerges from within. That make sense? Like Kenny. Where did that song come from that she sung? It came from within. Where does this Spirit deliver to you from? But from within. And so what you want to do is step into flow. You want to step into that place and know that Spirit flows through you. It's the natural state. Was it Matthew where it says, do not concern yourself about your life or what you're going to eat or what you're going to drink or about your body or what it is you're going to wear. Spirit knows that you have need of these things. Spirit knows. It's God's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. But it's got to be yours to receive it. You're the ones who got to say, okay, I get it. I'll take it. Bring it on. I'm good with that. This is how you use it. You take these spiritual principles, and Ernest said, difficulty is we indulge in too much theory and too little practice, and put it to practice with where you are being irked. I don't know if I ever used that word until today. But where you these spiritual principles aren't for just conceptual. It's where your heart is broken. It's where your dream is big. Because there is no large or small, only in our mind. Ernest Holmes. So we do this by putting those seeds. I talked about pulling out the weeds. Well, we put in the good seeds, and these good seeds we do are affirmations by all means. But what we're teaching in the foundation class right now is spiritual mind treatment. And we're doing a workshop, or Jenny's doing it, Saturday the 18th. And I like to say one goes to a medical practitioner, when their body's hurting for, physical treatment. And one goes to a spiritual practitioner, for a spiritual mind treatment. So that's kind of our unique name for prayer. That is kind of the jargon that most people in the world don't know what we're talking about. But, there they are. Okay. Yeah, I could have read this without them, but why bother? Anyway, so from this chapter on how to use it, Ernest writes, the treatment, that's our prayer. It's a spiritual entity in the mental world and is equipped with the power and the volition. As much power and volition as there is faith in it. Given to it by the mind of the one using it and operating through the law. It knows exactly how to work and what methods to use and just how to use them. But we do not put the power into the word. But we do let the power of the law flow through it. And the one who most completely believes in the power will produce the best results. For this is the law of cause and effect. We should work not with anxiety, but with an expectancy. And not with a coercion. Like, oh, come on, I'm going to hold this up real bit. No. Not with a coercion, but with a conviction. And not through compulsion, but in a state of conscious recognition and receptivity. We do not have to drive or push, but what we must do is believe and accept. For the patient should try to be receptive and not to the will of the practitioner, but to the purpose of the universe. So often I watch people working so hard to have their prayers happen. I'm going to mock up this picture and hold it. That's not it. That's not it. The power is already there. The know-how is already there. Whether it's your life, whether it's national, or whether it's global. The power to bring things back into balance is already present. Just like the engineer's idea comes from within, so does what needs to take place next come from within. And I'll often cast my prayers on a specific something that I think is best, but how to use it best is to know not my will, but thy will. The greater good for all concerned is what needs to unfold here. And our prayers are wonderful. Real quickly, I'll tell you the 5 steps. It's not the only way to pray, but it is a way to pray. You have this idea in mind, and the first thing you do is you unify, or you recognize spirit. I mean, that's the way it works. I recognize spirit. That life force, that intelligence, that which is all things, the absolute, infinite, inexhaustible, first cause, first ball, spirit, God. Right? And then if spirit's everything, I'm one with that. So the second step of our prayer is first you recognize that power, and you recognize, if God's everything, then I'm that. I'm not all of it, but I am that. And so the first step is recognize it, I'm one with that, and if I'm one with that, then it's spirit speaking. So the third step is the realization of the spiritual truth of the situation from the God perspective. Got that? Should I repeat it? 2 yeses, 1 no. You realize the spiritual truth of the situation from the God perspective. That's the meat of the prayer. First one is recognize God, I'm one with that, and then Spirit speaks the truth. As God spoke the truth, in the beginning was the Word, then it all happens. So you couldn't help but to be grateful, which is the 4th step. Naturally, Spirit speaks, it's done. Thank you. Not thank you, God, because you are that expressing, right? It's thank you. It's a sense of appreciation. It's a sense of gratitude. Not thank you, something outside. It's like, thank you. Yeah, this is so. And you let it go. It's like you put the seed in the ground. You don't keep digging it up to see if it's growing. You put the seed in the ground and you let it go. That's the last step of the prayer. You let it go. You let Spirit take it away. Take it away, Spirit. And do your thing. Do your magic. Though it's not magic, but it can appear to be that way. I read this wonderful article. I don't know if you know James O'Day. He was the president of the Institute of Noetic Science. Noetic science was started by the astronaut Edgar Mitchell, very scientific in its spiritual approach. Anyway, James O'Day, he wrote this article, just came out, and he was talking about the millennials and Generation Z. Those are the ones that were born after the millennium. And he said these kids, they were raised with the emergence of Harry Potter and the reemergence of Lord of the Rings. They grew up in believing in magic and heroes and villains and wizardry. They believe in the possibilities of a Gandalf the Grey or Lord Voldemort or Albus Dumbledore. Is that close? Pretty close. Anyway, this is just a natural way of thinking. This is their perspective. And so those of us that are still caught looking in the rearview mirror or trying to do things that were successful in our era of doing things, there is a new emerging generation that says, you know what, there's greater possibilities here, and I've got to look over this. I don't need to overcome this, but rather there is something greater that wants to emerge. And so what he wrote that I liked, that I will read without my glasses since they're over there, is he said that in 2017, and it's a prediction, it's like some good news, at least I think it's good news, and every Sunday during our season for nonviolence, which is going to be the next 64 days around here, we're going to be sharing a piece of good news, because the headlines I'm tired of reading, so we're going to share with you good news. So what James wrote about is that in 2017, here's his prediction, coming in President Institute of Noetic Sciences. He said, 2017, the millennials and their cohorts will awaken the greatest cross-generational collaboration ever witnessed on planet Earth, introducing extraordinary new technology in sustainability, energy, and healthy lifestyles, with real magic and mind-blowing wizardry. They are going to transform destructive competition into creative collaboration. And finally, they're going to create a movement for a new kind of visionary and integrity politics. And he ends with this line here that says, and so if you see one of these budding magicians hiding in the wings, give them a push. It's their time on stage. So don't worry about the world moguls. They don't expect hobbits anyway. So you know what? The good news is that we have carried the baton this far. The good news is we've been the geese cutting through, and it's time for the new visionaries and the new possibilities to emerge. And what it will do is create a better, healthier lifestyle and a way to be in the world in which we are. But we've got to let there be enough freedom for a difference of opinion to emerge and not to lock them up, not to silence them, and to say, hey, you're not welcome here, but to invite these individuals in who have different perspectives so we can begin to expand the consciousness for greater receptivity to the infinite possibilities that are seeking to emerge not only through them, but through you. God bless us as we make this happen in this world. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Kenny back to our stage.
Love it. We were so on the same page today with my music and the message. This song is called When We All Walk Together, and I encourage you. I have CDs out in the foyer for sale, but it's on my website. It's out there. It's available. Find it, download it, share it, and use your voices and stand up and rise up all together as one. When we all walk together neath the bright shining sun, when we all join in singing, the world will live as one. And when we all as love was meant to be, we will know no sorrow, and the world will live in peace. Sing on, sister. May your voice always be heard for life with freedom in this life that you have made. And as you journey on, take the love that's here today. Oh, if we could all see each other as one humanity, maybe then we'd live forever in love eternally. Sing on, sister, share your word. May your voice always be heard for life with freedom in this life that you have made. And as you journey on, take the love that's here today. Oh, when we all walk together
That is Kenny Dye. Wow, an anthem for us. For the walk and march together. I like it. I like it. All right. Well, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to unite together in the givingness and the sharing of our love and our offering. And as we give, it comes back to us, but it's not why we give. It's just that is what happens when you step into that wonderful law of circulation. You allow your gift to be an extension of your consciousness. You get to be the activity in which God is showing up in your life. And so it's through your action and your participation that you begin to put this theory that is unlimited into form. You create the parameters in which the infinite shows up in your life. And so in this moment, when we stop and pause, remember it is Spirit that gives us the power to experience wealth. And it's as we continue to systematically put Spirit first in our remembrance in our life and our weekly activity, what we find is it showing up as the very expression of our activity. And so I invite you to listen to your heart and say, yes, God, I'm here. I'm here for you. So with that, I want to invite our ushers forward. And I want to say thank you to this wonderful group who week after week is here and supporting us to find the seats and the parking and the ushering and the baskets. It is just a wonderful expression. I appreciate all that you do. So thank you for that. And I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that this is a moment of the divine download where that infinite flow passes into our field of awareness and our activity. For I know right now that's movement of the divine through our very life and experience enriches and lifts and just fills those spaces with a light and a newness and a divine alignment, so that flow moves with an ease and a grace, and so that for which we have been blessed by and we share in the world, I know that blessing goes out and continues to bring the joy and the richness to all that comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to move from theory to practice in this expression of the infinite, and so it is. Amen. Together, let's say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Seaside. Way to rock the house, guys. Love ya. And so as I stand before this bounty, I can feel the outpouring of love. I can feel the caring, the compassion, and the belief in that divine expression that continues to manifest in this world at Seaside. For as each and every one of us has made this contribution, it is our action and our statement and our support of Spirit going on and sharing its light and its life in its unique Seaside kind of way. And I know for each and every one who is given from that place of love, it is received in love and is handled in good stewardship and is put forth back into the flow, bringing the richness and blessings to all it comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to pause and to remember and to be that flow in action. And so it is. Amen. All right. This is Richard Drutman. He is one of your board members here at Seaside. And I'm pointing the wrong direction. I guess I want to point towards you. Just kidding. Thank you so much. Just fabulous and wonderful. We just love it when you're here. Great success on your tour. And it's always a joy on a Sunday to share it with you. Rebecca, did I understand you got voted for another San Diego Music Award? Hey, nominated. Woo! Two-time reigning champ, Rebecca and her band. We're going to make sure it's 3. Marv, would you make sure you get it on our Inside Seaside and everywhere? Vote Rebecca. Where do they go for that?
It's SanDiegoMusicAwards.com, and we're in the Best Live Performer category.
Wow, that is big. And it's a people's choice, right? I mean,
yeah, you can vote. So please vote.
Please vote. That's it. 3-time reigning champ, but you can't leave us. No. Okay, all right. Just making sure.
It's my
Got enough
now.
people
what are you
leaving me
talking
these
about?
days. You're here forever. Rebecca, thank you so much. Great job this morning. Appreciate you and the wonderful spirit you bring. And also, we're doing Sacred Circles, and Rebecca's leading one on Tuesday mornings here at 10:30. Not this week, starting next week. There'll be more information, but during our season of peace, if you want to be part of that, I'll be here. Matthew, thank you very much for the sound. Appreciate you. Love you. Marv, for giving us the visuals. Great job. Timothy, for sitting behind that camera for so many years, live streaming this. We know the audience is there. You at home, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for your gifts. Keep sending those emails and letters. I love hearing from you, and you're a blessing to us all. You help just sustain what we're doing here. And there's a lot going on here today. Like as soon as we're done, we're out 12:30. We're going to dedicate that peace pole outside that the Gertz family gave us. We're going to stand around it, maybe burn some sage, shake some good juju into it, and just know that it is a light, a beacon of light for people who are just thinking about peace. They're just drawn here. So it's that's going on at 12:30. 1 o'clock, annual meeting that is happening. 3 o'clock, the women are getting together. They're working on their flash mob dance for the Billion Women Rising. I guess there's about 75 women dancing and rehearsing. 3 o'clock. I'm not allowed to know in advance, but it's sounding pretty fun. So it's going to happen some Sunday in February. So you want to be here every Sunday in February. I like that. That's good. Let's see. There's probably a lot of other. Wednesday night, big news is the launch for the season for nonviolence. We are having some refugee women here. It is like the perfect time with what's going on in our nation to hear firsthand what it's like to come in from Uganda and to be able to share those stories and they're already here. Yeah, that's right. We don't have to hope they make it in. Or also, we got a wonderful Islamic millennial that is here who's going to share a little bit about that. We also have someone talking about the human trafficking situation in our town. We've got the Community Resource Center talking about the shelter for women's domestic violence. The mayor's proclamation is going to be read. So Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, I want to take out the back wall. So I invite all of you to invite at least 1 or 2 people. There's no cost. There'll be a love offering that night. But bring people. 7 o'clock, it's going to be a powerful something that we can add to the collective consciousness of our nation. What we're doing here does make a difference, and you're needed to be present for that. So, it's big. Nice write-up around town. Anyway, I can keep going on. What I want to do is pray, but I see our kids coming in. Come on in, guys. I want to bless you. Love you. Jim, let them in. Look at these guys. I love this new affirmation we're doing with them, and I don't want them to miss this moment, this opportunity where we look at them and we share. So, hey, we got a growing youth and family program that we call our Seaside Kids, and we have Seaside Teens, and they just seem to be more and more showing up every week, which tells me great things are going on in our program there. But anybody want to share anything with me first? Who wants to talk to me today? Yeah. What's up?
Today, I said I wanted the snow at my house, and also we made some vision boards today.
Nice, snow and vision boards. Did you want to say something, Emily?
We made pictures of something, and we put them on paper.
Wow. Girl Scout from Troop 1950.
We're selling cookies.
Oh, there you go. Nothing like working your warm market. Yeah.
Today we
Yeah, next week. All right. Anyway, let's say together this affirmation. Let's look at them and say, we see you, we love you, we support you in your magnificence. And so being it's last Sunday of the month, Prayer Wall Sunday, so I want to invite any of our religious science practitioners to stand up here with me today as I pray. And when I'm done praying, we'll sing ourselves out. Thanks to Rebecca. And then come on up and get prayer. It feels good, doesn't hurt, doesn't cost. You bring one of those situations I was alluding to, and they will speak the spiritual truth. They have been trained in this wonderful art. So I invite you to join all of us in this consciousness, in this powerful, powerful place of mind and spirit. That part where we're talking about recognizing the absolute, the infinite, the all-knowing, the galactic in its ability to create. Absolutely is all things, and I am that. You are that. All that we are is spirit. There's nothing else for it to have created from. So the truth of being is spirit. And it is in this moment I choose to align with that. You too. Feel your connection with that life force. Remember, that first step was recognizing that power and that presence from which all came. And second is to feel it, sense it, beyond definition, beyond theory. It is moving into that place of sensing and knowing that I am that which is. And it's in this infinite awareness that I am able to bring to this field of possibilities, which is truly infinite. I bring down to this field of awareness the sense of wholeness and love, peace, perfection. I bring my awareness to that which is already within, and that which is already so. I'm not making this. I'm just beginning to see this in all areas of concern, those areas that irk me. The wholeness already is within, just like that engineer who was able to create from within. Just like Kenny who was able to create the song from within. The wholeness already is so for me, for you, for anyone who fills your heart with a place of concern. Allow yourself to resonate and vibrate. For that adds to the collective consciousness of this nation that allows the freedom. Who's able to stand courageously and not tolerate mistreatment, forced silence, mocking, because there's a different expression. For God is infinite in its expressions. And what I know right now is the infinite diversity is the natural state of being. It brings the color, it brings the life, it brings the music, it brings the sass, it brings the joy. And so I know right now that concern and fear dissipate into the nothingness from which they came. For as Ernest told us, if there is no one to experience, it could not be. Because the truth is harmony, the truth is love, the truth is wholeness. And I know right now that is the truth that is emerging in all those vectors of concern. Not because I'm making it so, but I am seeing that God already is. It's not my will, but thy will that is showing up in my life. And healing happens in my body and in my world of concerns. I don't make it happen. It just emerges because there is no otherness. There is no separation. And it's in this divine motion and movement that anything unlike it falls away. And the body moves into alignment and vivaciousness and a fresh, creative, regenerative flow for spirit to occupy. And with that, we bring that joy to this world. We get up out of that bed, hoping that check floats in the window, and begin to take the action, begin to march, begin to do our dharma, our passion, and find the fulfillment and the success and the remuneration and the affluent flow of life, sourcing and supporting. It feels right to live in grace and be courageous enough to march with that. Thankful to know that Seaside continues to grow and thrive, expand, spiritually mature in that which we do. I say thank you, God, for the conviction, the courage to take these principles to the streets. Something good that's going on, and I choose to know that is the good news, that is now. As Whitman said, not some place or some other time, but now in this place. The good news is Spirit is emerging and expressing in all that I see. And I know as I look upon our prayer requests and our prayer request chest that answers are taking form for those that have requested. These practitioners today speak the words of truth. For our beloved member Joyce, 58, who made her transition, Joyce Valaski, that she moves on with those wonderful currents of eternality, able to express and to love and to stretch her wings and be all. That her partner Andrew, who's here on this side, is able to have a deep spiritual understanding, a peace that even passes that understanding. And for our blessed teen, Jacqueline, I don't see here today, but her half-brother, Philip Campbell, 5-year-old, who was taken in that creek out in Fallbrook or Rainbow this week. We know that he's fine as he moves on with those wonderful currents. But we surround Jacqueline with our love and know that she is blessed by that love and caring and compassion, can feel that blessing in her life. And little Philip, that he just rides the currents of eternality to his new place of self-expression, knowing he fulfilled his destiny and is that profound teacher he came to be. For Seaside continues to stand as a beacon of light and remembrance that it is God first in all matters of the heart, in all concerns of the mind. It's always return to see as Spirit sees, hear as God hears, know as only God knows. So I say thank you for this awareness, for the words we have spoken are the truth. I let go, knowing that God has its way here and now. So it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you have to say. Come on, Seaside. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Now I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, Seaside, sing it from your heart. Oh, that feels good. Woo! So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
today is I courageously claim God's good as my good now. Together, I courageously claim God's good as my good now. Touch your heart and say it again. I courageously claim God's good as my good now. One more time like you mean it. I courageously claim God's good as my good now. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe, through joys and through fears. In this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves to me, and it moves to us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace.
Come on up for prayer. We're here for you.